Hi there, Sue McGuire here with the Learning About Dogs podcast featuring Kay Laurence. Today, it's about approach learning, or the dynamics of the approach. We talk a lot about approach, our learner approaching us. But what does that look like? What should it look like? What are we looking for in the approach behavior itself? And let's back up a little bit. What do we mean by approach behavior? What does that even mean?
Well, you can't separate approach from rewards. Yeah.
Okay.
So if we are going to be reward-centered teachers, we want our dogs to regard their learning around a reward. We're looking for whether the reward that we clearly say is on offer, which could be our open hands to say, do you want to come and have a fuss? I myself could be a reward. I being close to me is a reward for the dog. Or I could open up the treat box and pick up a treat. At which point I'm expecting the dog to become aware that there are rewards available. Now, if he desires those rewards, I should be able to see that evidenced by a behavior that's an approach behavior. He would either orientate towards me or take a step towards me or jump at me. There would be some indication that he desires that reward. And if I don't see that approach, then at that moment in time, that reward is not valid. Now, it might have been valid for the previous 60 seconds, but something could have happened that the dog wants to watch because that is of more importance to them than the piece of food I have in my hand. And then we would see the end of the approach. There would be no approach. There's no motivation, if you like, or desire for that reward. And our learning is the bit that happens between presentation of a potential reward, the dog responding, saying, I'd like that. So they approach, we have the reward. That bit in between is the learning. But without approach starting, we can't say that learning is going to happen.
Would there be times where we would want a small approach, a large approach? Is it solely based on the reward, or is there these little nuances where you want to teach a small approach, a large approach, no approach? I'm just curious.
Well, it depends what you are going to reward. So if I open up the treat pot, I'm probably physically going to have no approach at all. The dogs will stand there and go, whoa, we're training. And they will stand there orientating to me doing cue seeking, which means there's no approach physically, but psychologically they are all into it. Psychologically they are coming at me like a steam train. Come on, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me, I want this food. I want this food. Show me, show me, show me. Give me a clue. So mentally they're approaching and showing that they are motivated to do something. But I've taught them to not physically approach me because you end up getting mugged, or your hand gets taken off, or they jump for the toy, or they come too close to you. So I don't necessarily want my dogs to physically approach, but a naive dog or a young dog, if a puppy smells a bit of raw chicken, he's going to go straight for it, straight away. So you'll get that raw response, yes, because that's what they've learned secures the food, especially if they're fresh out of a litter. If you don't approach it, you don't get it. There's no point waiting for politeness when it's a bowl of food on the floor, is there?
Mm-hmm. I think that's an interesting thing because I was thinking in terms of a physically small approach, a physically big approach, but I like how you say that. You can say I'm in. This is me. I'm present, etc.
Yeah. In fact, most of the time, probably I don't want necessarily a physical approach unless I give the cue to a dog to follow that reward. Then I'm actually eliciting a moving approach. But it's more of a, yes, I'd like that, and I'm going to head towards it.
There, of course, goes without saying that there needs to be some history of that reward, I would think.
Not necessarily, no. You don't need to explain to a puppy that this is food and you might like it. Mm-hmm. If they've got the scent of it, they would approach it straight away. Okay. Yep, so if you look at something that's appealing to you, do you know historically that it's going to give you pleasure?
Yes.
No, you're going to step towards it and have a look at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd like to have a look, see what, your curiosity would often cause approach, but you don't know whether it's going to pan out or not. It's the potential, the reward is something that has a potential to give you pleasure. Yes, it has a potential, and you desire to experience that. But until you've actually got it, you don't know whether it's going to be a reward or not. And something can be a reward 6 times, and the 7th times you go, that wasn't quite as good as I expected it to be. Whoa. Then we're getting into more trouble. Yes.
Yeah, and then we need to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Take a look at the new course being offered by Learning About Dogs called Build the Learning. Courses and other information are contained in the episode notes. Thanks for listening.